Hi guys, just a quick look at the setup I'm using at the moment. Just having a quick listen here to the 70cm band 139.6. It's doing a reasonable job of receiving on the AR 1500 here. Let's see if it'll play with the squelch.
Yeah, okay. Got it that time. It is quite difficult, but we got you. I wonder why you're using. You're coming actually through. I'm picking you up through PT. I'm wondering whether you're accessing PT or whether you're going through the RP.
When they stop talking, obviously.
Station over Chorley Way. The UpNet link over Chorley Way. Probably better for you actually. But yeah, no problem on the patients. I'm not a patient man, but I'm an inquisitive son, so no problems. Have a good day. And as I said, I wonder what frequency you're actually transmitting on, because I would have expected the other repeater up Chorley Way to be much better for you, Marlon.
There's the antenna, the Nagoya. I think they've both keyed up together there. Yeah, it sounds like the squelch is going to work pretty well on that. It's just they're never letting go of the key for some reason. Although it times out, I think they're just re-keying back up. Yeah, so this is the Nagoya NA -177. Oh. Yeah, that was a very short break. They're using a gateway, so they're not using a traditional two-way radio system. It's obviously a hub net or something. Anyway, so this is I've made this video just look at the setup, but I've got carried away looking at this the AOR, which I quite like. Anyway, so let's look at the setup then. So this is the setup. Let's turn this off. I can do it with one hand. Yeah, there it is. Right, let's put that back. So my setup is, at the moment, this is where this had to move the shelf up to fit the laptop. The laptop fits under there now. I had to move it up about 3 inches or 75-ish millimeters, so that's a bit of a decorating that needs doing. I've got my power meter here with the voltage and current showing there. I like to keep that up. I've built this box here. I've got this, I built it into a metal box. I need to change that because I'm not happy with the way that looks, to be honest on it. I was going to put it face down in the desk. I might still do that, get the jigsaw out and jigsaw this out, or router this top part of the desk out to have it upright somewhere, perhaps on one of these little flanks, the corner flanks here. Then I've got the danger of putting something on top of it, and you'd also see underneath, so maybe not do that, I'm not sure yet. So I've got the the ICOM ICR 8500, one of my favourites on the bench today. This has got 2 antenna inputs, so it actually needs, and they can't be altered internally, they have to be antenna 1 and 2, or A and B. I think it's 1 and 2. So you need to feed it with 2 antennas. I've got the same antenna feeding this. I'll go through my system now. So I'll start at the top in my cupboard next to me. I've got a cupboard next to me where I sit in this room. It's a bit of a junk cupboard, so it's not boarded on this side, obviously. I've got the 3 antennas there, the collinear, which is a home-built collinear antenna, which happens to work very well on 70 centimeters for some reason. It's just probably tuned perfectly, coincidentally. It's got a balun in front of it. So I can't remember the ratio of the balun, but like for HF for balun, I didn't make the balun, I bought it off eBay. And then it's got a choke, which I built to tune it in, because the coax is not exactly the right length for HF, so I built a choke around an old plastic bottle and some tape, electrical tape, to make that the right SWR, so it makes the SWR better with the choke. I was going to explain the reason then, but I'm not quite ready to explain the actual reason behind that, and probably not give you an accurate description of why it helps. Okay, so dummy load at the top there. This is 100 and, in fact, there's the spec on the dummy load. It's one of those, the 150. There's the spec on it, so just 150 watts for 10 seconds, 100 for 90, and cooling off periods there next to it, and a 30 watt continuous, which suits all my radios. I only test on it anyway. There's the dummy load. I like to use an extender there, male extender, because, or male female extender, yes, because obviously it would be failing this next PL259. So we've got the Collinear built, the vertical, which is an Excalibur HF antenna, which I measured the coax perfectly, and guess what? I had to put another choke in for that, which is okay. Now I've got the SWR pretty good on both those, under 2, well under 2, I think it's about 1.4, something like that, to 1. Then the bottom there, the Discone there, which is the Discone antenna in the loft port. It's just a standard Discone antenna without the whip on top, so it does something like 25 megahertz to 1.3 gig, something like that. It doesn't transmit. I think you can transmit a certain range, but I'm not sure about that. This is the Watson. I believe it's a Watson. It's a 4-way. Does about 500 watt RMS, the kilowatt peak, something like that. Allegedly, I'm not sure it'd do that, but it does feel nice and sturdy. Anyway, let's go to, so they get in my cupboard all the way through the wall, and they go to underneath my desk, which is an absolute mess, obviously, because I've got wires everywhere. I'm just in the middle of changing radios around and stuff. So we've got the feed there from up to the power meter that just runs through the power meter, and we've got an old Maplin linear power supply here. I've got about 3 or 4 of these, all various current. This is a 7 amp, 5 amp. 7 amp continuous, 10 amp, 50% duty cycle, 12 amp peak. Pretty good. Does top out about 7 amps. If you put it for more than a few seconds, it will. You do get drastic voltage drop when you pull more than 7 amps on it. I think it tops out about 9 or 10, as it says. I don't think it'd do 12. Would be a very, very short peak. Obviously, they're talking about probably anything with induction. There. Anyway, back on to the next one, which is another one of these Watson 4-way switches. I've got a couple more of these that are not 4-way though, and I've got the 4 antennas going out. I've got a couple spares, you can see, just tied up out the way. And so I'm in the middle of moving things around now. There's the PC power charger, the PC charger, and then you've got the RSPDX on top there at the back, laptop on top of that. Obviously that's plugged into that, and then obviously one space, actually probably 2 spaces side by side for the radios, and that's my setup at the moment. I just choose antennas here. I choose antennas in the cupboard. I was going to put them under the desk, but I thought, no, I don't want to be lazy. I want to get up occasionally, and if I need to, it's right next. I can see the S meter and stuff like that to change antennas, so why not get a bit of exercise? Anyway, this one here, this just chooses which radio. Like I said, this has got 2 antenna inputs, one SO239 and one N-type, I believe it is. N-type would be F, female, for the input for the anything above 30 megahertz up to the 2 gigahertz end frequency, and below 30 down to 100 kilohertz where this radio finishes is the SO239. It's also got another antenna, I believe it's in this menu. Beep, lock, auto TS. There you go. So you can go to 550 ohms or 500 ohm antenna, which I believe, I haven't used it for a while, but I believe that switches on the back. There's an RCA jack which you can use, and you choose between, when you're on antenna 1, I think it chooses between that and the 50 ohm SO239, I believe, or the RCA, which is a 500 ohm long wire. Yeah. High impedance, obviously. Okay guys, that's it for now. Just a quick video there, not actually quick, 9-minute ramble about what I'm using at the moment. Like I say, I'm in the middle of a few improvements at the moment. I've got a few things to plan out, but that's it for now. Just a bit of a shack update. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos coming soon.